In this video, we're going to talk about updating the software. Now, we already covered importing, exporting menu items, as well as exporting log files. However, we'll cover updating the software and what that looks like. Remember, some of the prerequisites that we want to keep in mind is going to be a 16 gigabyte USB, no larger than that. We want to use a version 2 type USB, and ideally we want that to be a quality type USB like SanDisk or equivalent, and we want that to be a plastic USB as well. So with all that covered and making sure that we have our file set up correctly on the USB, with it being an unzipped file, meaning that it is no longer compressed, we will have to make sure that we set that up properly prior to putting it on our blank USB. And then once we have that set up properly, we can go ahead and update our unit. Now to do so, I'm going to go ahead and take the cap off my USB port. I'm going to go ahead and insert my USB. And then I'm going to go to my USB screen. You notice I have to scroll over once to get to updating my software, and you can see right before I swiped over that apply updates turned blue. Now what that means is if this were still grayed out, that means that it would not be recognizing my USB right now. However, since I have my file set up properly and I have that unzipped, it's no longer a compressed file, now the control is recognizing it, and my apply updates is no longer grayed out, it's now blue. And you can see right here, now I'm updating this unit with the exact same software it has on it. However, if we were updating with new software, it would show over here on the right the new available version that is to be updated. So now we can see all that. I'm going to go ahead and select apply updates. I have to enter my manager PIN, which is going to be 1122, just like before. Select the check mark, and now updating will take place. Now, one thing to keep in mind is you can see on the screen right here, it is updating. If it is going to mess up, typically it will do it quickly. Now, if that's the case, that's okay. Don't be too alarmed. We can try this the second time. If it fails on the first time, it's not uncommon, and then it will usually take on the second go around. Now, if it continues to fail after that point, this is where we need to consider making sure that the file is once again set up correctly. There's nothing else on the USB, because if we have additional info or data on the USB, it could confuse this system. So those are a couple of things that we would need to watch out for. With this unit appearing to take a little while, as you can see on the screen here with updating, it's most likely that it's going to take this successfully. And now you can see update succeeded, system will now reboot. Now once I check this, or once I hit this check mark and the screen goes black, it's going to say rebooting, and then it's going to shut off. And once it does, once it shuts off, that's when I can go ahead and remove my USB. Now the reason we want to remove the USB when that control is blank is because if we leave this in there too long, once the control starts back up, it could potentially end up trying to relook at the data that's on this USB and potentially, not guaranteed, but potentially cause some problems. So after that reboots, while the screen is completely blank, it's recommended that we go ahead and pull that USB out. It is no longer communicating, and there shouldn't be any concern of corrupting the data on this USB file. And that's how we would successfully update a unit. And if we wanted to verify and make sure that it had that proper software uploaded after it reboots and goes completely back into operation, once we get back up to our main screen, then that is where we could go into the settings and we could scroll over to system information and we could verify. So we'll take a look at that. We're going to go into settings, and remember, we're actually going to go backwards here because it'll be a little faster. So we're going to swipe this way, and we're going to go to system information, which I thought would be faster. And we'll be able to see our software right here, which tells us 1.0.12. Now again, I uploaded this unit with the exact same software it had on it. So it did not change. However, if you wanted to verify that your update was successful, that's how you would do so, and that's how we update the UHC cabinet.